Today we're very excited about our rollout of the body-worn cameras. It's been a long time coming, I know, for the public, but also internally for members of the Sheriff's Office. We started this venture in 2017 where we started field testing different equipment, compatibility, durability, and what would be the best process for us to move forward. In 2018, a budget proposal was submitted to the Board of Supervisors, and we understand that the board has different priorities. And so we're excited to say that we're finally here. As we get to roll this out, we're going to have certain specialty units that are going to still be field testing to work out some of the issues that might arise. Currently, our problem-oriented policing division, our sheriff's homeless outreach team, and our gang suppression unit will be utilizing the body-worn cameras. After a short amount of time, we realized the storage and download and the capacity and what that is. We're still shooting for our target date of a full release for all patrol divisions and specialty units by June of 2021. As you remember, the sheriff promised on February 15th we would have these rolled out. We're excited that we were able to roll that out today. But I will tell you, it doesn't go without an extensive amount of work from behind the scenes. Our sheriff's tech support team has done a tremendous job. I know a lot of people think you just order something like this, it comes out of the box, you put it on and wear it, but that is far from it. And being one of the largest police agency in Northern California, it's taken some time to get here, but we're excited to roll this out, to continue to build that public trust and strengthen relationships with our communities. We know this has been a long time coming, and today's an exciting day for us to finally be here, and hopefully by June of this year we'll be fully rolled out and everything will be in place. I know today we have Captain Dan Morrissey. It's going to be here from the Tech Support Division, who can talk about some of the rollout that comes with this. Again, his team and under his leadership, been able to get this done under this timeline is nothing short of amazing. But we're very proud to be wearing these and having our team members today wearing them and getting the appropriate training. It's not easy, especially with social distancing. The training, you would usually have people come out and show you how to use it, but we've had to do that under social distancing guidelines and virtual training. So it has taken some time to get here. With that, I'd love to turn it over to Captain Dan Morrissey if you'd like to talk about some of the technical support issues. And
he's like, not really.
Yeah.
Fire away, my friends. I'm here for you.
So, yeah, this would be the time if you have specific questions about the technical.
Can you start with your name real quick?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Dan Morrissey, Morrissey.
And you're a captain also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, how hard is it to get this going?
This is a pretty substantial task. I think one of the biggest pieces of this was the fact that typically when you go through a purchase of something like this, it requires going out for a request for proposal and a whole lengthy process. But the sheriff was actually pretty committed about doing this early on, and so we used some negotiating tools with county purchasing, and we were able to go from actually getting approved the money in September to actually having a signed contract ready to go in less than 90 days. So from that, we actually moved pretty quick to get the infrastructure on the back end. Like Captain Barnes said, a lot of people think this is kind of a, hey, you buy them, you plug them in, and they don't understand that there's roles and authentication and storage, security, how we're going to track evidence, move items back and forth, restrict it, and that on an enterprise level requires a lot of work on our side. So it takes some effort.
You train your office, your sheriff officers at all, or how's that going for you?
It is, and we're actually trying to do a combination hybrid training where we did initially some virtual training with the company Axon, but at the same time we also set up so that when we start the larger rollout in April, that we're going to be able to train officers in a hybrid capacity, which is a smaller classes of in-person people, also with our learning management system on the back end doing virtual training so that we can limit the amount of time they're together and limit the amount of time in a classroom.
So how many will go out today and start today, and then by June, how many do you hope to have up and running?
So 31-ish is what's going out today, and that includes some back-end pieces that we have for testing, and then also through this we'll be monitoring the network traffic, and then by June we'll have 446 that'll be out specifically for patrol. We have spares and stuff, so we may add in some other ancillary units to test network connectivity at different locations.
Is there
another department you're kind of piggyback on and ask questions if you have any issues that come arise that they've used maybe a different sheriff's department that they use the same service?
That seems to be kind of a consistent theme, but actually one of the problems of running a larger IT program is the fact that other people do stuff, but they're not the sheriff's department. And so we have to structure our connectivity, our rollout with our roles, our permissions, our security, our CLETS and CGIS requirements, as well as our policy and procedure. So they're helpful, but they don't really give you all the pieces. You know, what I've said to everybody is this really is kind of like building a puzzle upside down, or like a really fuzzy picture where you have a kind of an idea what it's supposed to look like, but how it looks in the end is really dependent upon what we do now.
So can you share kind of the protocol on what will be required of them to do, like the ones that are going out today, when they turn it on, when they turn it off?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good question for Captain Barnes. He can kind of walk you through some of the policy stuff if you want.
No. Thank you. Like I said, you know, we're excited about this, but what you just brought up is exactly some of the challenges that we've had to overcome. When we show up at a house and someone says you're not recording when you walk in this house, that becomes obviously some serious issues, especially if an incident arises inside. That could require someone wanting to know that what was on that video. So we've had worked through some of the policies, which also takes time. And that's what it is. So if you're doing a vehicle stop, or you're doing whether it's an enforcement stop, or you're going into a house for a call for service, the expectation, you know, the officer would turn on the body camera, go in. Afterwards, when the call is complete, turn it off. And then when they're done with the end of their shift, that was some part of the technical support that has to be, is each facility that has these has to be equipped with the equipment to download it. So at the end of their shift, they would come into their station, review any of the footage if they need it for evidentiary value, as far as writing reports, for accuracy, timelines, and then it would be uploaded on the system, and we would have it for download for a later time. And this, for us, is, we look at many different levels why this is going to be important for us. It's not only the accuracy for evidence, statements, sometimes they can change. We look at prosecutions, and if someone is alleging a crime that happened and then later want to change their story, we're going to get accurate statements on this and be able to have that. Also, accountability on all ends. And I think this is what everybody, the public's been wanting, but also we as law enforcement have been wanting, because you look at a lot of the officers right now, we're proud. The professionalism they display, this will help mitigate some of the complaints that come in, but also we'll be able to provide a training component too on critical debriefs if there's something happens. In a law enforcement world, we have to be ready to evolve, and how do we do it better? And this will provide, this is another tool that will provide that. We can review it, get lessons learned from it, and then provide additional training to make sure that we improve every day.
What made you choose the 3 departments to start off with?
Pardon me?
What made you choose the 3 departments to start off with?
Well, one, it was just the amount of how many we decided we were going to actually roll out at one time. The Sheriff's Homeless Outreach Team and the Sheriff's North Division Problem-Oriented Policing Team has a lot of contacts. A lot of those are going in to just contact the community outside of a call for service, and same thing with the gang suppression unit. So it was important we had teams that were constantly getting out and interacting with the community, look at the download, look at the different things that we could say, where are we wearing it? Because as you know, everybody's body type is different. Where is it going to be where it's visible? So it's important that we work through those issues, and then once we roll it out department-wide, we'll be able to provide those lessons learned.
And are you going to have a policy on when it must be turned on and activated?
That is part of the policy, is whenever you're getting into call for service or you're going to do an enforcement action, it is expected that it would be turned on when practical. There may be something that arises that absolutely somebody's caught off guard and they may not have that. I mean, the ultimate thing we want is our officers to be safe, but for situational awareness, when practical, turn that on, because that's what we want. Any other questions?
Just from your point of view, having a witness there, impartial witness to back up your officers' statements when they're dealing with the public, valuable also? Very
valuable. You know, and you have to remember too, if you're looking at a body camera, it is a camera that's pointing straight forward if it's on the front part of the body. So if something is happening off to the side, it may not capture that. But having audio from that would also help strengthen whatever that interaction is, and or maybe an interview, a statement, to be able to capture that. So that's going to be crucial. But again, there are limitations to it. Although, you know, this increases transparency and everybody wants this, where that camera is pointed is what it sees. It may not see something offside, but to have that, you know, we've had our in-car cameras for over a decade now, and that has helped us. We had belt mics that also helped us with the audio. Now it puts everything together inside a house, and we can see and hear everything.
And it's going to be standard protocol for them to download every interaction they've had, whether it's controversial or not, when they at the end of their shift?
Correct, yeah. As soon as they come back to the station, it'll automatically upload to the server and it'll be there. So when it's activated, it's going to be uploaded.
Captain, has there been a decision made on where these cameras will be worn? And will they all be worn the same way?
As far as on location on the person itself, everybody, as I said, is equipped differently, but most likely the way they act them, you'll see with, we have a sergeant, Sergeant Christy Lynn, who has one. It'll be on the front part of the body, so usually it's where we're looking is where it's going to capture. So yeah.